Yeah, I'm not liking the mage. But to be honest, the mage is pretty bad. Alright everyone, welcome back. Cooler heads have prevailed. However, I'm not gonna do this boss fight like this. I've already beaten this game. As hard as it was to beat a lot of the other stuff in the game, I don't need this. However, there is one thing I found out after beating the game, which gave me that Grinch who stole Christmas kind of grin. Why? Because I've proven myself in this game already, and I have nothing to prove to anyone else. I got good aim, I got the ability to dodge and get out of the way of a lot of things. But this boss fight is ridiculous. So, apparently after beating the game, however, there is something else that is available. It is called Assist Mode. Now, to my shock and awe, Assist Mode does not, according to the Google anyway, it does not disable achievements. So, Assist Mode lets you modify the rules of the game to suit your specific needs. Right now, my specific need is to figure out the end of this DLC. That's my specific need. I've already been through a lot on and off camera trying to, navigate through this. So, yeah, right now my need that needs to be suited is finishing the DLC. Control is designed to be both challenging and rewarding. It was challenging and it was rewarding, but this DLC is trash. Well, no, not the whole DLC. This DLC boss fight is trash. The two before it were also trash. You can't use your energy. You can't damage the boss, but he can damage you from anywhere on the map. And one hit takes you to danger? No, we're not doing that. Yes. Now, I don't need aim assist. I don't need aim snapping. Weapon crosshairs will snap onto the closest target and remain there until no longer aiming. Energy recovery. Damage reduction. Ammo recovery multiplier. Multiplier for ammo recovery. Higher value makes ammo recover faster and reduces the delay before recovery starts. Now, I could just do this right here and be done with it. I could just do this right here and be done with it. But I'm going to do this right here. Even though she still takes damage, she doesn't die. And you know what? I don't even care. After what I went through with this boss, an hour plus of trying to beat this stupid boss because he has all of these broken mechanics. They didn't respawn. That didn't.
Director Faden here. Send backup to my location.
That didn't recover too quickly. Let's see if it works. Oh, look, you can't hurt me. So now the roles apparently have been reversed. Did you die? I don't even care. How did they hit me? I'm behind cover! Oh, look, he knocked the power out. Look at how slow my energy's draining. Alright, so I need to go over here and get this one now. Why can't I fly?
Hartman won't be a problem anymore, Langston. But investigations need someone to run it. Interested?
I've seen what happens to sector heads, ma'am. No, thank you. Ma'am, I'm getting something on my terminal here, an AWE alert from Bright Falls, Washington. But it might be a glitch. The date's all wrong, a couple of years in the future. And we're in lockdown. There shouldn't be any incoming signals.
Maybe it was active before we went into lockdown? Are there agents on site?
Let me check. Agent Estevez is the field agent in charge of monitoring the site, so she should be there to let us know if the situation has been through any major changes recently.
Things set in motion. If the alarm's true, then so is the reason for the alarm. The effect must follow the cause. It's happening again. A return. You have been warned.
That's it?
Are in for it now.
That's it? Like, you don't tell me... You don't tell me anything, that's it? Now, I'm sorry, but that certainly wouldn't have been worth going through all that just to get that ending. Well, it certainly doesn't stop achievements since I've just gotten another one. I can't believe So we don't get to see Alan Wake. However, there may be um, another Alan Wake game in the future. I think, if I remember correctly, I was told that there was going to be an Alan Wake 2. So maybe the DLC is like a bridge into the Alan Wake. I thought I saw a recording somewhere into the Alan Wake 2. Well, I will say this. Kudos to the developers for making this assist mode. They knew what they were doing when they made these bosses. And so they were like, well, just so people won't hate and give our game bad reviews, we're going to make a way for them to beat the boss after going through so much without it already. Alright, let's see what this says.
These are the notes of Dr. Emil Hartman. I am continuing my work alone again since certain parties were too blind to recognize a golden opportunity. Despite my generous offers, the conversations came to naught. Some people simply do not value collaboration as I do. Though I believe now that it was for the best. The sort of bold, pioneering work that I am undertaking cannot thrive under the shackles of bureaucracy and regulation. I have a history of seeking such partnerships. There was a time when I had hoped Alan Wake and I could collaborate. Together we could have produced art such that the world has never seen. But Wake was stubborn, egotistical. Writers usually are. Disappointing, nonetheless. But now, like Tom before him, Wake has disappeared into Cauldron Lake. And this is where my work turns hypothetical. Since he was lost to the lake, Thomas Zane has been observed by various townspeople. This indicates to me that the individuals within the lake are not entirely gone. I anticipate Wake will similarly return one day. While I may harbor some resentment for the man, his raw talent and determination are undeniable. From this, I have concluded that the lake and the dark place within it are not as removed from this world as I previously thought. Given my acute awareness of what awaits within, my meticulous preparations, and my considerable education, I believe myself much more prepared than either Tom or Wake. I should be able to cross into that dark realm with the chance to return as they have. All that remains is the dive itself. It frightens me, I admit, but such is the burden of the truth seeker. I will take my plunge into the dark tomorrow, with only the light of knowledge to guide me. It is time for a breakthrough. Until I return.
Well, you saw what the light of knowledge got you. The light of knowledge got you turned into the hideous creature that we just killed. Alright. This is his photo. What? Of Alan Wake, provided by Alice Wake. Taken in 2017. Can you imagine taking that picture of your husband? Like, what could be going through his mind right now? But let's see what her interview entails. After returning out of the bureau, Alice Wake was brought into the oldest house for an interview on something 17. Oh, for the transcript. So there's a transcript somewhere? The interview, conducted by Agent Shaw and Dempsey, revealed that Miss Wake has had recurring nightly visitations from her missing ex-husband in her New York apartment. Mr. Wake appears out of nowhere and rushes at her down the corridor. According to her impression, he appears crazy and horrifying, clearly coming at her with violent intent. Mrs. Wake believes that he is haunting her, insisting he is not Alan, but a monster in his body. Ms. Wake has not been sleeping out of the fear of these visits. Her attempts to keep the lights on through the night result in the relevant hallway's light bulb breaking every night, possibly indicating involvement of the ghost or monster or whatever. Further investigation required. We propose installing monitoring equipment in the apartment. Copies of supply requests from whatever have been sent to Mr. Kirkland and administration for approval. A photograph of Alan Wake captured by Alice Wake during an event in her home. Alice Wake, former wife of Alan Wake, has recently been visited at night by her ex-husband. Yeah, we know. Being a professional photographer, Mrs. Wake positioned cameras with motion sensors around the corridor he appears in and managed to capture an image of Mr. Wake on film. During an interview with Miss Wake, she mentioned that her favorite camera was lost in 2010 during AWE 35. No match has been found among the confiscated evidence from AWE 35. It has been filed as a potential altered item, and research staff stationed at Bright Falls are being contacted to check if they have any knowledge of such an item. And then there's Wake's photograph. So now we get to find out exactly what happened at Bright Falls. An unconfirmed threshold manifestation occurred at Cauldron Lake, Washington. The citizens of Bright Falls had gathered in the town's southwestern fields for an annual festival known as Deer Fest. Eyewitnesses all claimed that the day had been sunny, confirmed by reviews of the area's weather reports. But then, with no warning, a thunderstorm appeared in the direction of the Anderson farm, and a tornado rose from Cauldron Lake. The torrential rain that followed caused a flash flood. It was as if the day had turned to night. Testimony from Frank Breaker, the sheriff of Bright Falls, formerly a bureau agent, managed to guide the crowd to safety as the festival grounds were destroyed by the flood. The festival was canceled, ending one day early. Lack of official bureau presence on the scene makes this event difficult to report as a confirmed AWE. Though the similarity to other known events in the Bright Falls area lend credence to the accounts of the townspeople. I would like to see the interview with Alice Wake. On the day of the flooding, the rock band Old Gods of Asgard was rehearsing in a field outside of Anderson Farm, the homestead of band members Odin and Tor Anderson. Both admitted to being in a heavy state of inebriation at the time, having spent days drinking their home-brewed moonshine while celebrating Deer Fest. That's illegal in the United States. After the townspeople, mainly because the wine sellers and the alcohol giants can't get their money if you make your own. After the townspeople were evacuated from the flooded field, Sheriff Breaker was asked by Freya Anderson, daughter of Tor Anderson. They named themselves Anderson, to check on her father and uncle. Breaker drove to the Anderson farm and found the band members alive but in need of medical aid. Tor Anderson had been struck by lightning, and Odin Anderson had cut out his own right eye. A possible reference to Norse deities come on, did you have to redact that? They claimed they had fought and valiantly defeated a dark army of stretching hag. The dark army, a dark army of the scratching hag rising from Cauldron Lake. We know that's AWE 35, so I don't know why that was redacted. Related to the suspected blank at Driver's Isle. While impossible to verify, these events are relevant to the recurring AWE at Bright Falls and Cauldron Lake. Odin and Tor Anderson have been listed as persons of interest. So this whole incident at Bright Falls is recurring. So it's not a one-time event like what happened with Jesse and Dylan Faden. Instead, this is a recurring event. But again, what I would like to know is I would like to know what's the chain letter. Move this letter along before he gets you. Oh no, the spooky man. So okay, so this is a chain letter that we picked up before. Janitor complaint. Brain missing? Oh, and dead letters. Okay, so let's see if this has anything to do with the actual creepy pasta of chain letters. Oh no, the spooky man letter has found you. The spooky man, oh my goodness. Sally in Houston did not send the letter in the spooky man site. The spooky man ate her cat. You need to mail this letter. You better mail this letter. Don't let the spooky man come. He'll take your cat. Well, I guess you're fine, because if you don't have cats, what else would it eat? If you don't have a cat, what else would it eat? And the hotline. I have 5 unread from the hotline. Hartman's final act. Wake writes a beginning. The third thing. On writing the manuscript. Wait, like, am I speaking to the board about this?
Darkness engulfed the elevator. There was something there. A presence. Jesse Vaden could hear it. A call. It was faint, reaching for her from a dark place. Vaden was sensitive to visitations. She had them all the time. From her guiding star and the previous director. She was the perfect receiver. As if she'd been made for this. Faden paused to feel it. The force in play here. It was changing things around her, subtle, trying to make her act. Faden didn't like that. Her guide felt it too. Polaris didn't flare up in defense as with the hiss. So it wasn't all bad. Not a hostile transmission. It was powerful, but it was coming from far away. And made weak because of the distance. It was a distress call. Faden sensed a drowning man. A man desperate to escape. She sensed something else too. A hunger in the dark. Not unlike the hostile resonance. Waiting. She knew that desperate acts can have grim consequences. It was this, more than the man's despair, that made her follow the call. The elevator lights winked back on. The darkness receded like a memory. There was a new button on the elevator control panel. Investigation Sector. Faden pressed the button. The elevator doors slid shut with practiced bravado.
Okay, so again, this is insinuating that Alan Wake not only knows Jesse Faden, but Jesse Faden could possibly be a fictional character from his book that has come to life, just like the FBI agent, which would explain why she had the inherent power to fight the Hiss, but it wouldn't explain Polaris. because Polaris actually is a creature from another dimension.
Dr. Emil Hartman was desperate. The Federal Bureau of Control had stolen his life's work. This was his last chance, his final experiment. What he'd been too scared to do before. Hartman dove into the lake, was taken, devoured by hungry darkness, became the thing that had been Hartman. Only an echo of him remained, fragmented impulses on autoplay, violent, bloodthirsty darkness in the driver's seat. Emerging from the lake, the thing was captured by the FBC, brought in, contained, studied. The thing broke loose, killed everyone it could. The FBC fell back and sealed the sector. The thing was alone in the dark, lurking, roaming, waiting. Then something else came. Not darkness, but similar enough. A sound. A resonance. It shouldn't be a surprise. If there's one, why not another? The darkness inside the thing could have been immune, could have resisted, fought, could have been passed by, passed through with no effect. But it didn't, and it wasn't. Maybe it had grown weaker over time, not aged. It was timeless, but weaker with no link to its source. A metamorphosis followed. The thing that had been Hartman went through another change.
The thing that had been Hartman. So that's what we heard in that hotel. The thing that had been Hartman. Okay. I'm gonna be a little upset if Faden isn't real. Like if Jesse Faden isn't real and Dylan Faden isn't real, and they're just characters in Wake's book that will help him get back into the real world, that's gonna take away some of the story from me. I have to admit, it's gonna take away some of the, like so far the main story has been really good in my opinion, but if that is the case, if Dylan Faden and Jesse Faden are fake, and somehow they were created using the object of power that Wake is using to get himself out of wherever it is he's stuck in right now, I'm going to be a little upset. Going to be a little disappointed. But another thing to note, in the recording, not the recording, what Langston said after we beat Hartman, that the AWE event is signaling from the future and not from the present. So I guess that's more evidence that the Bright Falls event is going to occur again. And I'm hoping that, this DLC is just a tie-in, right? And once the Alan Wake 2 comes out, it'll further expound on this and actually show where Alan Wake actually is.
I've written and rewritten, deconstructed, reconstructed, experimented with different voices, changed the style, changed myself, forgotten the language, relearned the language. Have I been here before? Gone down this path before? The darkness wants to hide the past to make me lose my way. You must know where you've been to know where you're going. I trust what I read on these pages. I wrote them for a reason. My notes to myself. The only way to make progress, recap, then write more. The style then. Lose the fat. Make it clear. Ugly. Functional. Present. Be blunt. Only the brutal truth. Cut through the reality, tear it apart, rewrite it. Be clever, make them do the work, form the image in their minds. They make it, you just imply. Incept. They're drawn to the mystery, obsessed. You set it up, they put it together. Their interpretation, and there's only one because you give them no choice. And they believe in it. Because it's theirs now.
That answered nothing.
The resonance carves its way through the thing that had been Hartman, vibrating, remolding. The sound changes the darkness, and the darkness changes the sound. They both changed what remained of Hartman. They all turned into something else. A third thing. The sound made darker. The darkness made louder. Hartman was stretched. Stretched as anyone when seen from out of time, like a worm through time. Almost an Ouroboros, a spiral, a maelstrom. The gravity well of a black hole, twisting inward, tightening, taking you deeper and deeper to the bottom, the heart, and through to the other side. The third thing said, when you hear this, you will know you're a new you. He said, we build you till nothing remains. He said, under the conceptual reality, behind this reality, you must want these ways to drag you away. He said, baby, 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 yeah, orange peel. The third thing was a monster. He'd tear apart any ordinary person crossing his path. Now he crashed out of darkness toward Faden. There was nothing ordinary about Faden.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm left a little more confused than usual. I mean, than I was before, because so all the stuff that Hartman mutters during the DLC, apparently Alan Wake wrote. Wake writes a beginning.
The story needed many beginnings, many springs, streams that turned into a river, a flood, and then an ocean. This was one. Wake used the materials he had, the connections he had, the people, the places. Wake put them in to make it true. His wife, the psychiatrist, his city. These connections, like magnets, move things. Alice was a conduit. She'd been in the dark place. The thing that had been Hartman sensed her near, sensed Wake through her. Went berserk, broke loose. Wake made sure Alice was already gone by then. Safe. The more springs, the more the story became real. The more people believed. Cause and effect. It was extremely delicate and hard work. It had to go through the path of least resistance where success was most likely. Where there was a connection already. Wake felt the pressure grow in his head. Going mad. Wake had to escape. Right. His escape. He was already out. He wanted to make it true. Wake needed a hero. A hero needed a crisis. For the part in the story about the government agency, Wake needed something special, something to convey an alien force mimicking human intelligence. Something that can't be translated. Translated. Wake channeled Burroughs and Bowie. He cut up sentences and words. Orange peel. You are home. Insane. He put them in a shoebox. He pulled out the words. Wake created a Dadaist poem. He'd try anything once. Or had he tried this before?
So as you know, all of that stuff is also what Dylan Faden has been saying all this time. With the whole baby, yeah, and the orange peel. So it makes me wonder then, one question that sticks out in my mind right now. Is Alan...
This must be where they studied Hartman. Kind of looks like Dylan's cell. I wonder if they treated him as badly.
Is Alan Wake the Hiss? Because it says he needed multiple beginnings. He needed a hero, and a hero needed a crisis. All of that stuff. So I'm wondering, did he create the Hiss through his book? All with the sole purpose of trying to escape. Can't get up there? I want to see what's up there. But yeah, I'm starting to wonder now. Is Alan Wake the creator of the Hiss? Like, he may not have been the one that created the oldest house. I don't see any documents that could lead to I wonder if I could have fought him from way up here. I don't see any documents that would lead to that would show off Alan Wake's wife, her interview. But what? Well, guys, that is going to do it for this video. With this assist mode, I'll probably go ahead and do the second DLC. Just so that I can see, you know, what it is. Maybe, who knows, it might continue this thing with Alan Wake. But the reason I sound a little disappointed is because it seems to me like the whole story of Control, from the events that happened in Ordinary all the way up until you shutting off the slide projector, it seems like all of those events, including the Hiss, were created by Alan Wake in order to escape wherever it is he's at right now. And if, like I said, if that's the case, that's going to be a little disappointing to me. Like, but I mean, we don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. There's no telling. But that is going to be it for a Dark Place DLC. There are still a lot of side quests, a few like the chain letter that, you know, I'll probably go back and do. Now that I don't have to go through the heartache of trying to deal with impossible bosses, one-hit kill agents, and all that stuff, we will investigate it and see what happens. Who knows? Maybe the second DLC will be, a continuation of this Alan Wake issue. But again, we will find out next time. Until then, you guys know what to do. Stay blessed.